After playing Amelia's escape ending 7 or 8 times, both solo and with friends, and after having a couple days to think on it, I think it's a good time to share some thoughts on the experience, both my own and those I've been reading from the community. At first, I was surprised at how divided a lot of people were over this ending. Some loved it, said it was great, some others hated it, they thought it was a lot of hype build-up for nothing. I thought harder, and now I'm not all that surprised anymore. Before I get into anything else, I'll say I liked this ending. I really liked it. I thought it was incredibly refreshing to have a new experience designed for the solo player's eyes, like Rebirth and the Man's tutorial, the latter of which is actually one of my favorite trials in the game, despite it being only a tutorial. But the escape ending, instead of being an alive and active environment, has this new cold, abandoned kind of feeling we don't really get anywhere else in the game. The sense that you're somewhere older, somewhere you're not supposed to be, just tastes really good to me. The environment as a whole had so many little details I loved getting to see. The machine in the large open space felt like this great beast we had to feed. The kind of feral reagents expressing hopelessness and despair gave us some nice insight into the mental state of your average reagent. Like we, the players, we're always so happy and joyful, frolicking around the trials all the time, but we see this and remember this is what we're really supposed to be feeling. And I can't neglect to mention those scripted events, the jump scares, like the bodies being pulled into holes in the wall or falling off ledges, reagents running past us and bursting through doors. You know, there's even one that starts digging through corpses, like she saw Henrietta and gave up, assuming that, damn, that's it for us. It's cannibalism or die, because we have no chance of escape from this point. Okay, enough preemptive glaze. I know there will be people who think I'm blind to Red Barrel's mistakes or faults, and nothing could in reality be further from the truth, but I don't even care if you say that. I will in every instance make of myself a fearless Red Barrel's glazer, the way I pick a different champion every game. I want to cover both the good and bad of the escape ending separately, but that's kind of hard to do because even some individual points have both good and bad in them, so I'll just yap indiscriminately about some common thoughts I've heard in no particular order. One of the most common things said, the escape is too easy. Many have said this, and I agree. The fact that there is absolutely no threat whatsoever in the first 75% or so of the escape is absurd. A lot of people who I agree with are saying, well, why not have the feral reagents come actively attack us? Or why didn't they just take the models of the security guards and give them the behavior of X-Pop? They have the same body proportions, so I don't think it'd be a big deal to transfer onto them the same patrol patterns and attack animation as X-Pop. I mean, that's basically what they did to the feral reagents. They just copy-pasted idle grunt behavior onto them. You can even ping them, the game tells you they're an X-Pop. But I digress. As a first experience, the escape gets away with dealing you the fear of a potential threat, but after playing it that one time, you already know you're totally safe while powering the machine, and if you were to die during that section, it would be because you went around looking for a way to do so. So you can speedrun powering the machine, and then the sole threat in the whole trial is Henrietta, who has copy-paste big grunt behavior, which lore-wise does make sense, but in co-op, this means that one player can kite her around while the few objectives to be completed are very easily and peacefully done by the other players. In short, this escape trial is a realistic contender for the title of easiest trial in the game, and for some people, that's terrible. I myself don't mind that much, because the thing is, this isn't even a hard fix. Henrietta's attacks do a single bar of health each, and yeah, that's a joke, but literally just make her do more damage, maybe make her have faster chase speed, or no stamina exhaustion, and it's a done deal. And as for the guards and feral reagents I mentioned earlier, those would also be easily added. Like, it's so easy for Red Barrels to have made the escape more difficult. I am very, very certain it was a conscious decision on their part to make it easy, to make it accessible for the entire player base. Because, guys, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but there's a lot of players out there who have hundreds of hours in the game and are yet still very, very bad. I don't even say that as an insult, it's just the reality of the situation, and in fact, I welcome the unskilled players. It's okay to be low elo. We're not competing for anything. You're a princess in the trials, and I am glad you are here. Guess what? We're not done talking about difficulty. It's taking up a large portion of the video, but I want to say the escape being easy is not such an egregious insult even to the most skilled of players. What is offended by the escape being easy is the lore. Amelia said we can escape because they can't kill us all, because there's a vulnerability in Murkoff's security. Hey man, what security? They didn't kill any of us. We walked into the tram for free and had a nice little walkabout. Not a one guard came after us. This is Murkoff, by the way, the paranoia control freaks with cameras everywhere who don't allow a soul under their jurisdiction to reach their hand up to itch their nose without their expressed consent. We're having to suspend our disbelief so much it's levitating. Guys, it's fine. Could we talk about the music and the sound design? I don't know what kind of treatment Tom SALTA is being given by Red Barrels for him to be so locked in, but I'm going to need some of it myself. Like, if you go and get chased by Henrietta and listen to her chase theme, like, no, I'm not even going to show it right here. I'm telling you to do it. You have to go play it yourself and listen. It becomes hard to focus, bro. This theme is so disgustingly jacked up. It's just a shame to me that it's mixed in kind of a muted way compared to the rest of the audio going on. I don't really know. I have my music volume all the way up. It's fine. It's not even just this chase theme. There are so many different tracks for each moment of the entire escape, and all of them are so immersive and cinematic, I want to say. Especially like one of the first ones that plays when you're the disposal truck. Oh my god, what a hard thing for Tom Salt has to be. I can't believe it. I also want to praise the simple fact that this escape is a huge step forward in the story. This is a universe where we actually feel like we are moving somewhere, chronologically, developmentally. Like, compare this to the League universe. We're just on Summoner's Rift fighting for 15 years and nothing is happening. How for real are we, Riot? Yet, in the Outlast Trials escape, we now have multiple active pieces in motion at once. Take for instance Amelia, who some people say are disappointed they didn't see her in the escape itself. Some criticisms are valid. I think this one's a bit silly. It is by design that we do not see Amelia. She can't be there to help every single one of the dozens or hundreds or thousands of reagents making their escape. Add to that her story does not seem to be finished in the slightest. I think some people are missing this. Red Barrels very obviously has plans for her going forward. There are questions we are meant to be asking. We found her room in this escape trial. Why is it abandoned? Where is she? Will she escape at the end of the event alongside us? Or is she going to do something else to take down Murkoff? Or what? Guys, it is awesome that we get to wait and find out, because we can be sure there is more to come. There's much else that's been left up in the air by this escape. In the newest evidence document, we see that Easterman's madness has reached its climax. Will Murkoff punish him, demote him, dispose of him, make him an asset within the trials? And there's Henrietta too. We now know she's alive for certain. Will she stay that way? Will she return to the trials environment somehow? And will Doris find out about her? This is so interesting to me. See, I have more to say about that, about Henrietta. Her voice lines are so gorgeous. People are asking, the exit is right there. Why hasn't she herself just left the facility yet? She continues to haunt the biohazard disposal facility because she is waiting for Doris, and her voice lines reflect that. She's not eating rotting corpse flesh because the trials have reduced her to this feral, inhuman state, but because that is what she is willing to do for love. She wouldn't even recognize me anymore? My bad, Henrietta. I was not familiar with your game. Back to some criticisms. I'll just fire these off quickly if I can. Some say the escape was too short. I get that. I do feel the shortness myself, especially after replaying it. You can beat this thing in like 5 minutes with friends, although that's not different from speedrunning most other trials in the game. What I have to say about this is like, yeah, well, that's life. The development team is constantly under a huge time crunch, I feel. I might talk about this in more depth in another video, but like, the trial is short because that's what they could come up with in the time they had. They couldn't spawn in more time, and work on the game harder or faster. Given the constraints, I would say they did pretty well. In any case, when you complain that something is too short or there's not enough of it, that's generally a good sign that you did enjoy what was there. So, Some people have said that the reuse of objectives was lazy and lame. Here I disagree also. I think in very climactic trials like this escape as well as Rebirth, I want to see objectives reused. I want this to feel like I'm going to get through this by applying everything I've learned up until this point. So repeat objectives here is fine to me. It's in new full-length trials, like the one coming April 22nd, it is coming, that I want to see new objectives in. That's just how I feel about it. If other people did want to see some brand new ideas, I respect that, I understand that. But again, keep in mind, it looks like Red Barrels wanted this trial to be accessible to everyone. Making people have to learn how to deal with a new objective on the fly would have been a large risk that compromised that aim. Here's one of my own criticisms. I haven't heard this from other people. Amelia went on and on about how biohazard disposal was such a god-awful place, worse than anywhere else in the facility. I don't know. Maybe more of the bodies are rotting, but there's not more bodies down there than in any normal trial. Normal trials are splattered in blood and gore already. It was hard to get worse from there unless the floor, walls, and ceiling were all made of corpses everywhere you went. That's kind of what I was expecting, what I was hoping for, that I would just be wading through bodies the whole time. You couldn't look anywhere without seeing something that once came out from a human, that sort of thing. That would have been awesome. Another criticism is that the ending is too happy. I get that too. We know the tone of the Outlast franchise after more than a decade of playing their games. We expect a bit more struggle than what we faced. So a large part of the too happy criticism is that this ending was too easy. Those are definitely intertwined with one another. What I wanted to see, which I haven't really heard anyone else mention yet, is that I wish the removal of our night vision goggles and Aesop was much more brutal. It's a big shame we just saw a black screen and heard ourselves screaming, but I also understand that every reagent has a different outfit on, and some are super elaborate, and we all have to get stripped down to our undergarments at the end of it. So seeing that in full vision would have been goofy and would have taken a lot of effort on Red Barrel's part to make that come through well. But I don't know, I just thought there was a really cool opportunity for one of those Outlast signature moments, those torture moments where your character undergoes something really gruesome and you have to watch it all happen, no holding back. Couldn't have that here. This is what I mean by time crunch. But back to that too happy thing, I'm not done. Yes, we know the tone of the game, yes, we know it's always dark, and yet, it's not, and it should not be. In this world, as bad as it gets, I think we should still all be allowed to have a little hope, as a treat. Because Because think about it, guys. Look at the track record. Outlast 1, bad ending. Outlast Whistleblower, yay, kind of happy. Outlast 2, devastating. Outlast Trials Cuba ending, bad. Vietnam, bad. Mount Massive, horrible. China sucks. Congo, horrible. Guys, it's been over 10 years since the Outlast franchise last gave us a happy ending. We're long overdue for a little hope. And could not even the most diehard grimdark enthusiast feel a little spark of joy when you finally walked out into the sunrise? I thought that was crazy beautiful. I could have cried. Instead, I became very masculine and dropped a, let's go! We did that. No, oh my god, it felt so good. Like, I can't believe anyone would actually think this ending was too happy. I mean, I understand it, but I can't believe it. Like, you want to be hopeless? You want to cry all the time? The truth is, this ending, it isn't even as happy as we first think it is. We escaped the Signala facility into what? Well, yesterday I typed this message on the Outlast Discord, and you can pause and read it, and I think it sums up the situation pretty well. My whole 8 hours at work, I planned what I wanted to say in this video today, but I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, and I'll be mad at myself when I realize what it is I forgot to include. It's like, whatever. Last thing I want to talk about, I want to go back to that idea about the difficulty of the escape, about the lack of guards and other enemies. I said I feel Red Barrels has carved out for themselves an opportunity to make the escape harder, and I think it would be really cool to see, in lore, Murkoff makes lemonade. They reopen the biohazard disposal and turn it into a functional trial, maybe even a new way to rebirth. They can populate it with guards and X-Pop and Prime assets and the like. Now, see, that's something people don't understand. They wanted to see Prime assets and X-Pop down there to begin with. At the current point of the story, that wouldn't have made any sense. The place is abandoned, right? Closed down. Murkoff doesn't touch it. But with a few tweaks to the story, they could. That's what I'd really like to see. Because even today, in Red Barrel's dev stream, Rosie, the community manager, said they are not sure whether or not the escape trial will be playable again going forwards after the event ends April 22nd. Red Barrels, I say to you, find a way! You have to find a way. You put too much time and effort into making this environment and this event for it to be playable for 2 weeks and then never again. Find a way to make it replayable, even if not for 100% of the time. It has to happen. Please! Guys, I feel bad just dropping silent Outlast videos strictly covering the new content and the new content alone. Like, just pure gameplay of the new trial every few months or so. I don't like to do that. I feel like an NPC. I've been wanting to talk to you all and share my thoughts and show my love for the game, but I have been extremely lazy. Let me try and do something now and then if you all find it pleasing. Thank you.